take a number. So you put a number there. That's how you define a variable number. And then you want to take input. In Python, you do input. Okay. And then you put here colon, colon, this one, and please enter a number. Now this will display on the screen, please enter a number. So if you run it, you will see that. See here, it says enter a number. But when you enter a number, it will take it as a string. And because you're going to write a program to find if the number is negative or positive, that's why you need to save it as an integer, for which you need to put here int and do this. And this way, it will save this number as an integer. So if you run now and you enter 7, that will be saved as integer. What next thing you need to do? You need to see if number is greater than 0. And then in Python, you do if number greater than 0 and put a colon there. That's it. In C language, you do it differently. But in Python, you just do no brackets, nothing. Number greater than 0 equal. And then you enter, and it will do printf. And what do you want to print here? Not printf, sorry. I keep saying printf because it's not a C, it's a Python. Print number is positive. Now, one thing you need to remember is, if you start writing it here, right, and run it, you will get an error. Why? Because you need to do indentation in Python, and that's why it must be here. Okay, and now you will not get an error. Here you go. So you said number, if we enter 5, 5 is greater than 0, right? It will say it's positive. But if we enter, let's say, -1, it will not do anything. Or even if we do 0, because 0 is not greater than 5, it will not do anything. And that's why what you need to do is you need to write another else part to it. And that else part would be else if. How do you do else if in Python? You do elif. That's else if. Number is equal to 0. Basically, that's equal to 0. Mean the number is equal to 0. Okay. Double equals 0. That's a comparison operator. So then you do print f, print, and you do here number is 0. Okay. And that's if this is true, this will happen. Otherwise, it'll go to else if part, right? And then you do run it, and you get an error again. Why you got an error? Because indentation, right? Remember I told you about indentation. So you move this backward, comes under if, and then this stays there, and it will not give you an error. Oh, sorry, it gave you an error again. Let's see what's the problem. So here the problem, sorry, this one. This terminator is a problem. And when we run it now, 5, it will say positive. If we run it as 0, it will say number is 0. But if we put a negative number, it will not do anything. Why? Because we did not put else part to it. So if we do else part to it, and we do printf like this, and that would be, what should be the else? The number is negative, right? If it is not 0, it's not positive, then it will be negative. Just else. Because else, you did if greater than 0, number is positive. If number is equal to 0 is 0. Negative. Because there's no other choice there. Okay. Now you get an error. Why? Because you put this one here. Okay. And another problem, because you did not indentation here. Now it is okay. So you remember, you gotta put a colon and you have to do indentation. So if I put here 5, it will be positive. If I put here 0, it will be negative. And if I put -5, -6, sorry, this is again, yeah, this is -6. Number is negative. Okay. Now, this is the one way to do that. Now let's do another program, and that program mean finding if the number is an even number or odd number. Okay, so you take a number, and if you want to say, see if it's even, we'll say number percentage to equal 0. Remember that in C language, right? Number percentage to equal 0. That's the same operator as in C language. Obviously, the way you do if is slightly different, because you do not, you just do this number, if number percentage to equal 0. Now you do here print. What should you print here? We should print here the number is even, because if remainder, this is remainder, right? Number percentage sign remainder. So when you do number percentage sign 2, it gives you remainder. If remainder is equal to 0, that's an even number. And how you do this? Like this, single brackets here, yeah. And then you're gonna go to else part. Else it should be simple, it should be print, it should be simply an odd number. Number is odd. Now let's run this and see. We got an error. What error? It's good to get an error because you didn't put colon here, this colon. If you miss this colon, see, every if, every else, you miss this, you get an error because that's invalid syntax. Here you go. 6 is even, and then we do 7 is odd, right? So this is even and odd number. Okay.